Should you invest in SBI Contra Fund or you should invest in Invesco India Contra Fund? Which fund should be there in your investment portfolio? We will find out in this video. And in this video, we are going to do a very simple step-by-step comparative analysis between these two contra funds based on management analysis, portfolio analysis, risk, returns, ratings and expense ratio. So without further delay, let's start this video with the management analysis first. And in management analysis, firstly we will see the management analysis of SBI Contra Fund, and SBI Contra Fund is currently managed by the fund manager Mohit Jain and Dinesh Balachandran from past 5 years. So we can see here in SBI Contra Fund, these two fund managers are managing this fund for really long time. And one important point to note here is from the time these two fund managers has joined this fund, the performance of SBI Contra Fund has improved significantly. And next we will look into the management analysis of Invesco India Contra Fund. And the fund managers of Invesco India Contra Funds are Tahir Badshah and Dhimant Kothari. And here Tahir Badshah is managing Invesco India Contra Fund from past 6 years and 6 months, and at the same time Dhimant Kothari has joined this fund 3 years before. So again here in Invesco India Contra Fund also we can see that the same fund manager is managing this fund for really long time. So on grounds of management analysis, both of these contra funds are equally good. And after management analysis, we will move forward to portfolio analysis of these contra funds. And in portfolio analysis, firstly we will see the market cap analysis of this contra fund. And if we take a closer look here, we can see that the SBI Contra Fund's portfolio is more diversified in large cap, mid cap, small cap, micro cap, foreign equities and debt than the Invesco India Contra Fund. And after market cap allocation in portfolio analysis, next we will look at the portfolio overlapping between these two funds. And in portfolio overlapping, Invesco India Contra Fund is overlapping 46.70% of SBI Contra Fund's portfolio, and SBI Contra Fund is overlapping 21.65% portfolio of Invesco India Contra Fund. And now let's dive further into the portfolio analysis of these contra funds and analyze the portfolio valuations and portfolio quality of these contra funds. So in portfolio analysis, we can see that both SBI Contra Fund and Invesco India Contra Fund have equal percentage of fairly valued stocks. But in terms of undervalued stocks, SBI Contra Fund's allocation is more than Invesco India Contra Fund. And in terms of overvalued stocks, Invesco India Contra Fund's allocation is twice the number of SBI Contra Fund. So in terms of valuations, SBI Contra Fund is looking better than Invesco India Contra Fund. And next we will look at the portfolio quality of these contra funds, and here we can see that the neutral quality stocks in these funds are almost equal, but allocation to the strong quality stocks is higher in Invesco India Contra Fund than the SBI Contra Fund. So in portfolio quality, Invesco India Contra Fund is looking better than the SBI Contra Fund. But the important point to note here is the allocation to debt in Invesco India Contra Fund is just 2.21%, whereas in SBI Contra Fund allocation to debt is 22.29%. So if any good opportunities arises in future, in that case the SBI Contra Fund can allocate more than the Invesco India Contra Fund. And after portfolio analysis, we will move to our next topic, that is the returns analysis of these contra funds. And in this returns analysis based on trailing year returns, calendar year returns, rolling returns and SIP returns, we are going to find out which among these two contra funds has performed consistently well in the past. So in the trailing returns or the historical returns of these contra funds, we can see here SBI Contra Fund has outperformed Invesco India Contra Fund in all the years. And next we will look at the calendar year returns or the annual returns of these contra funds. And in the past 7-year calendar returns, we can see that 4 out of 7 times Invesco India Contra Fund has outperformed SBI Contra Fund, whereas SBI Contra Fund has outperformed 3 out of 7 times in past 7 years. And after this, next we will see the rolling returns of these contra funds, and in rolling returns the Invesco India Contra Fund has outperformed SBI Contra Funds in all the tenure of rolling returns. And last in the return analysis, we will see the SIP returns of these contra funds, and here we can see that SBI Contra Fund has outperformed in all the years compared to Invesco India Contra Fund in SIP returns. So in returns analysis, we can see that both of these funds has done consistently well throughout these years. But from the past 3 years, SBI Contra Fund has done significantly well than the Invesco India Contra Fund. But wait, because return should not be the only criteria to choose the right mutual fund for your investment portfolio. And it is also important to note that what amount of risk the fund managers are taking to generate these returns. And to check the same, we will move to our next topic, that is the risk analysis of this contra funds to find out the mutual fund with the best risk adjusted returns. And in risk analysis, firstly we will see the standard deviation of these contra funds, and the lower the value of a standard deviation is better for the fund. And here where Invesco India Contra Fund is better than SBI Contra Fund. And next in risk analysis, we will look at the beta of these funds, and lower the value of beta is better for the fund. And here SBI Contra Fund is better than Invesco India Contra Fund in beta. Next in risk analysis, we will look at the Sharpe ratio, and higher the value of Sharpe ratio is better for the fund. And in Sharpe ratio, SBI Contra Fund is better than Invesco India Contra Fund. And next in risk analysis, we will look at the alpha of these contra funds, and alpha tells us that how much extra return the fund has generated over its benchmark, and higher the value is better for the fund. And the alpha of SBI Contra Fund is 14.99%, whereas Invesco India Contra Fund alpha is 2.03%, which clearly indicates that SBI Contra Fund is better in terms of alpha. And next in risk analysis, we will look at the past 3 years mean returns of this contra fund. And here we can see that SBI Contra Fund past 3-year mean return is more than the Invesco India Contra Fund. And last in risk analysis, we will look at the maximum drawdown of these contra funds to find out what is the maximum negative return that this fund has provided in past 3 years. And lower the value of maximum drawdown is better for the fund. And here again, SBI Contra Fund is better than the Invesco India Contra Fund in terms of maximum drawdown. So in risk analysis, it is clear that SBI Contra Fund is giving more risk adjusted returns than the Invesco India Contra Fund. And after the risk analysis, we will also look at the ratings and the expense ratios of this contra fund. So in ratings, Morningstar kept these funds unrated, whereas Value Research has given 3 star to Invesco India Contra Fund and 5 star to SBI Contra Fund. And CRISIL has given 2 star to Invesco India Contra Fund and 5 star to SBI Contra Fund. And in terms of expense ratio, Invesco India Contra Fund is better than the SBI Contra Fund, since the expense ratio of Invesco India Contra Fund is 0.61% and SBI Contra Fund is 0.90%. So by now in this analysis, you might also have figured out that which contra fund you should go for in 2023. Do mention the name of that mutual fund in the comment section. And the final conclusion is that SBI Contra Fund is better in all respects than the Invesco India Contra Fund, and that's why in 2023 you should go for SBI Contra Fund if you are planning to invest in contra fund. And one more important thing to note here is, if you want to invest in this mutual fund, invest in the direct plan of this mutual fund and save on paying unnecessary commissions. And to invest in direct plan of this mutual fund, you must log into Angel One app, click on the mutual fund icon in the dashboard and click on the search icon in the right top hand side corner and enter the mutual fund name here, and after that select the right mutual fund scheme, and after your analysis press the invest button to invest in this mutual fund and enter the lump sum or SIP amount, and then make payment by your linked bank account via net banking, UPI or Google Pay, and your mutual fund order is executed.